I'm going to disagree. I think that's just rude. Why would you jump into someone else's conversation? It's proper rude. Hi guys, today is my second video on the Myers-Briggs personality test. I'm going to be taking the test myself. Let's see how it goes. So there are a lot of questions here. It says it takes less than 12 minutes. Right, you enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. Depends on the circumstance. I'm going to go with a mostly agree because of the word vibrant. I like vibrant. You often spend time exploring unrealistic yet intriguing ideas 100% of the time. That's most of my life. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas rather than a detailed itinerary. Yeah, when I travel, I basically just go for it and have no plans. Sometimes it's really annoying. For example, when I went to Plymouth, I remember I really wanted to go on a boat trip, but then I found out I'd missed the last one and it didn't happen on Fridays and we were going home Saturday morning. Maybe I should do more itineraries. You often think about what you should have said in a conversation long after it's finished. Yep, I am amazing at the witty retort. 2 days later. If your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them emotionally and try not to solve their problem. My first instinct is to try and solve the problem, but I try not to, so I'm going to go with like a little bit of a yes, but I have to work at it. People can rarely upset you. Yeah, I don't get upset that easily. If you'd asked me a few years ago, I definitely used to just get upset at everyone all the time. But I've got a lot better. I've got a lot more thick-skinned, I think, as life has happened. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start a conversation and to keep it going. Nah, really disagree. I love starting conversations. I love chatting to people. I love talking. I love asking questions and finding out about people. No. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it's your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible. No. If my plans get interrupted, I rarely remember to go back. You rarely worry if you made a good impression on someone you met. Oh God, no, disagree. It would be a challenge for you to spend the whole weekend by yourself without feeling bored. No. I love spending time by myself. I'm now on to day 3 of sitting at home by myself, working from home, my partner's away. It's a dream. It's a dream, I tell you. Obviously I'm talking to you, but you're in on my camera. You're more detailed orientated than a big picture person. I'm big picture, I can do detail, I have a maths degree, I'm fine, but it takes energy and it's not my forte. You're very affectionate with people you care about. Pretty much, yeah. Sometimes I just want to be by myself, but yeah. You have a careful and methodical approach to life. I just randomly go for it and do things until things work. You are still bothered by mistakes you made a long time ago. I'm not really bothered. I generally have quite a sort of even view of that sort of thing. I think when you make a mistake, you learn from it, and as long as you understand what that mistake was and how you made it, then I can move on quite easily, so I'm going to go a little bit no. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found farther away from the action. Oh, this is American, I always forget father is a word. Yes, I'm always in the kitchen at parties. I'm always missing things. Yeah, definitely. You often find it difficult to read people who let their emotions guide them. So this is one of those questions I mentioned in my last video where it's quite misleading, and with the Cunning-Gruger effect, I think I'm reasonably good, but other people may say I'm not good. So I'm going to go a little bit good because I would probably go further to the good, but I think I'm probably wrong. When looking for a movie to watch, you spend ages browsing the catalogue. Nope. I watch TV series, I don't really watch movies because they're too quick, and with a TV series, you can watch the whole thing, and then when you finished it, you can watch the whole thing again. Love it. And you just don't have to think. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure. Yeah. This is a skill I've built up over the last couple of years. I used to be terrible at it, but now I'm on it. When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into their conversation. I'm going to disagree. I think that's just rude. Why would you jump into someone else's conversation? Like, I can generally pick up what they're talking about, but just jumping in there is proper rude. When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. No. I dream the most practical, boring dreams. I think the weirdest one I had, I was in a pub and someone served me a beer and I was like, oh, I can't drink that because I'm pregnant. And then I woke up and there was about 10 minutes where I thought I was still pregnant. Then I realised it was a dream. That's quite realistic, really, isn't it? In your opinion, is it okay to step on others to get ahead in life? No. I think that always stops you from getting ahead. At some point, it will come back and bite you. I think it's always worth helping others, bringing other people up with you, and you get kudos from doing that. Yes, it means you may miss out on some chances, but actually you find other chances happen. Every time I've done volunteering, stuff like that, I've always found it's come back to help me later on because it gives you a good reputation. People trust you and see you as someone helpful. Basically, I disagree. You are dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked. No. I get sidetracked every 5 minutes. I do achieve a lot, but it's never the thing I actually plan to achieve. When you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting your abilities and your knowledge. Yes. I'm going to go with a yes, but I generally get over it after a bit, so like a little yes. When at a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to people you already know. So I like going to events where I don't know anyone, but if I do know people, I'll just talk to the people I know. So I'm going to do a little neutral. I'm going to go neutral on this one. You usually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical. Yeah, I'm not really a philosophical person. You would never let yourself cry in front of others. Yes. I used to cry quite a lot, and I'm really sorry to all the guys at BAE Frimley who found me in the girls' toilets crying. I'm sorry, but I haven't cried at work for, oh God, I cried last month. Okay. I'll take that down a notch. You feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than to the more quiet places. No, I'm a quiet, intimate person. I quite like people watching, but I prefer to do it from somewhere quiet. So I'm going to go proper disagree. You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future. I love looking at different views and points of view. Those sort of theories of the future I'm less interested in because a lot of the time they're just rubbish. So a small like. When it comes to making life-changing choices, you listen to your heart rather than your head. I'm a head person. You cannot imagine dedicating your life to the study of something that you cannot see, touch or experience. Yeah, it's not my thing. Not my life, my whole life. Like chatting a little bit, yes. Whole life. Ooh, 50% through. You usually prefer to get your revenge rather than to forgive. Same as the other one about stepping on people. I much prefer to forgive because it just looks better on you. If you're going to be selfish about it, it looks better on you. If you're unselfish, then also it's better. It just seems better. You often make decisions on a whim. I'm going to go mostly yes. I do things on a whim, but I do think about them first, but I think quite quickly. Yeah. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. Yes. I love spending time by myself. I just read books, listen to podcasts, make videos. It's the dream. You often put special effort into interpreting real meaning in the message of song or movie. Yes, my whole life is a soundtrack. Every time a thing happens, I'm like, oh my god, this is that song. Say I get offered a job, I go and sing Look at My Name Up on That List from Legally Blonde. I definitely sing a lot of Hamilton songs when things go well. Yeah, and I love working out the meaning and then trying to apply it to my life. You always know exactly what you want. Yeah, pretty much everywhere in my life I know what I want. Like in the short term anyway. In the longer term, I don't care. You rarely think back on the choices you've made and what you could have done differently. I do think back and wonder what I could have done differently. I don't dwell on it though, so little yes. When in a public place, you usually stick to the quieter and less crowded areas. Yeah, no reason to stay in the crowds. I always find it funny when you see people like crowding together, like on the train where they all end up going in the same door, whereas if you walk down the platform, there's loads of space. So that's my thing, is finding the places that no one else is looking at because they're just following the crowd. You tend to focus on present realities rather than future possibilities. Yes, I'm all in the present. I'm very in the present. I don't really think about the past and the future that much. You often have a hard time understanding people's feelings. So again, this is one I think I'm quite good at, but now I'm worrying. So I'm going to do a little yes, because I think I could be wrong about myself. When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. Proper disagree. I like to make decisions as late as possible so you've got as much information as you can. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you. I don't ever think that actually. I think about becoming disappointed in myself, but other people? Ooh, yeah, I kind of do. I'm going to go with a little yes. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. Nah, not me. Not me. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. Yes, my whole life is daydreaming. I think I daydream like 90% of the day. Yeah. You look after yourself first and others second. 100%. So this may come from the time when I was a St. John Ambulance cadet, but in a first aid situation, you always look after yourself. But it also is true in sort of mental health situations. If you have a family member or close friend who is suffering from an illness such as anxiety or depression, you can't really help them unless you've already started to look after yourself and make sure you yourself are strong. So yes, I always look after myself first, but that doesn't mean I don't look after other people. I just need to be well enough to look after other people. Even when you've planned a particular daily routine, you usually just end up doing whatever you feel like in any given moment. Yes, I never stick to any plan. This morning I did. I wrote a list to do today, and the first thing I was going to do in the morning was shower, and I actually did that. After that, well, firstly, I'd written that I'd get up at 7 a.m. and I got up at 8. And other than showering, I don't think it did anything else on my list. So yeah. Your mood can change very quickly. What do you mean? Ooh, I'm really enjoying this. This is an awful video. Little yes. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. No. You often talk about your own feelings and emotions. Not really. You have got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. Yeah, I'm quite good at like middle term planning. Long term planning I don't care about. Middle term planning, I'm going to go with a middle yes. You rarely dwell on your regrets. Yes, I don't really do regrets. Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people quickly makes you feel drained and in need of a getaway. Yeah. Little yeah. Depends on who the people are. You see yourself as more realistic than visionary. Yes. You find it easy to empathise with a person who has gone through something you never have. Reasonable yes, I think. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than to organised and consistent efforts. Yes, I basically work really hard for like a couple of hours, then have a nap, then work hard for 50 minutes and then have a nap. There's a theme here. I do like my naps. Ooh, last page. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Nah, I'm in control here. I'm in control. After a long, exhausting week, a fun party is just what you need. No. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancement could change everyday life. Like a little bit, but not much. You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. I'm going to go mostly yes. You still honour your commitments, even if you've had a change of heart. A little bit of yes. I'm generally quite good at it, but I can be a bit rubbish and just not want to do things. You rarely feel insecure. Mostly I'm fine, but every now and again I'll have a flip out and feel really insecure. I want to hide under my bed. So, results time. Adventurer. This is the one I mostly get, to be fair, when I get this. ISFPA. So I am mostly introverted. I'm more observant than intuitive, more feeling than thinking, more prospecting than judging, and more assertive than turbulent. So if we go to the top, extrovert and introverted, you kind of understand. I like being by myself more than with other people. Energy, I'm more observant. So that's where I put more mental energy into watching things than sort of guessing how things are going to be in the future. Nature, feeling over thinking. So how I make decisions, I'm more of a feeler with the decisions rather than kind of logical and thinking. That's a lie. Tactics. I'm more prospecting than judging. So our approach to work, planning and decision making. Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. My identity is more assertive than turbulent. I'd kind of think I'm more turbulent, but also that's not a dichotomy. Assertive and turbulent, like you could be both or you could be neither. I don't really understand. This has a list of famous people who have the adventurer trait. I've heard of Kevin Costner and Avril Lavigne. Haven't heard of the other two. Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, Jessica Alba, Joss Stone, all cool people. Hey, we're on to the good stuff now. Eowyn, Kate Austen from Lost, Claire Littleton from Lost, and Hurley. I'm totally up for being like Hurley. Other than the bad luck, I'm not really up for the bad luck. Being a millionaire, though, totally up for being a millionaire. So, it's got a Bob Dylan quote. I change during the course of a day. I wake up and I'm one person. And when I go to sleep, I know for certain I'm somebody else. Yeah, I relate to that. I'm very changeable. They find ways to pursue their passions. Riskier behaviours like gambling and extreme sports are more common. I don't do either of them. Enjoy connecting with others and have a certain irresistible charm. I like that. Thank you. Thank you, dear computer. Meaning is in every expression of life. The biggest challenge facing adventurers is planning for the future. Yeah, planning is not my forte. I know I'm a project manager and I've had jobs where I've literally been a planner, but not my thing. Strengths and weaknesses. So, I'm charming. I'm sensitive to others, imaginative, passionate, curious, artistic. Yeah, all of those except maybe artistic. But then again, this is art, and I see the art in my project management. Yeah, it talks about presenting statistics and graphs. I like doing that. Visualising things and I like to try and resonate with my audience. I'm not very good at it, but I practice. So yeah, I think with the strengths, I agree with all of them. Let's have a look at the weaknesses. Fiercely independent, yes. Independence is definitely my weakness, because I'm like, I have a good idea, and they're like, Sorrel, you need to just do the work. And I'm like, but I have a good idea. And they're like, no, Sorrel, no. But I've got better at that one. Unpredictable, yeah, don't really know what I'm going to do. Easily stressed, yeah, I'm good under like short-term stress, but I kind of stress myself out longer term. Overly competitive, I am not competitive with other people. I will say this, I'm competitive with myself, but other people, frankly, if other people are doing something better than me, I'm like, meh, leave them to it. I'll go do something else. Fluctuating self-esteem, yeah. I'm either 100% self-esteemed up or have none of it. There's no middle ground. Romantic relationships. Adventurers are quite mysterious and difficult to get to know. While very emotional individuals, they guard this sensitive core carefully. Yeah. Things that are unlikely to grow stale. I think both me and my partner are both definitely sort of somewhere in this similar scale. We do not let anything grow stale. We just randomly do stuff not to surprise each other, just because that's how we are. Adventurer personalities are not to be forced into anything, and rushing long-term commitments is a sure way to scare them off. Friendships. So, adventurers are some of the most comfortable people around, laid back and spontaneous. People with the adventurer personality won't bog things down with arguments or structured long-term plans. Yeah, definitely me. I don't want to talk, I want to play. I quite like talking, but also like one-on-one. I don't like big groups. I'm going to skip parenthood because, well, I'm not a parent. Career paths, though, definitely interested in that. So, adventurers don't work on being ordinary. Yeah, I just go for it and do random stuff that other people aren't doing. I've definitely been forging my own sort of career path since I started. I very much have an emphasis on practical, tangible things like degree certificates. I don't really like doing learning unless there's a certificate at the end. And it definitely took me a long time to appreciate the importance of soft skills over sort of proper hard skills. Life's too short for us to bore ourselves. Well, if you look at my LinkedIn, dear reader, you can see that I have not worked in any job for that long. I am definitely in the mood to settle down now, and there's been places in the past that I've worked at long term but not full time for the whole time. But yeah, it's definitely holding me back. My, ooh, shiny job over here. Let's do that. Ooh, another shiny job over here. Let's do that. So it says become a freelancer. Hi. Workplace habits. Ooh, we like this. As a subordinate, they don't like to be controlled. Yes, the jobs I've hated the most are the ones with micromanagers. I'm very good when I've just got someone generally overseeing my work, but I get to choose how I do it. As a colleague, so adventurers feel most comfortable among their peers. Yeah, I agree with that. Working as equals, all that stuff. They exhaust themselves if their role requires an excessive amount of social interaction, which is why I'm working from home this week. I just needed a bit of me time to get my work done. Tolerant and friendly, and just do what needs to be done. I'm definitely very task focused. If I'm at work, I want to get my work done. I don't want to be sitting chatting. As managers, so this is something I haven't done that much of yet, but I've definitely done enough to now comment on this. Whereas if you asked me 2-3 years ago, I'd be like, today. It feels unnatural to adventurers. Oh, I find management so unnatural. It's such a weird... You've got people who know how to do their job and you're like, how are you doing your job? And they're like, yes. And you're like, good, crack on. And they're like, I was. Adventurers' sensitivity allows them to be great listeners. I try to be a good listener, but I'm not certain that's me. Anyway, let's go on to the conclusion. A few personality types are as colourful and charming as adventurers. Oh, thank you. I'd like to be that. Known for their kindness and artistic skills, adventurers are great at finding exciting new things to explore and experience. Adventurers' creativity and down-to-earth attitude are invaluable in many areas. Hey, and in their personal growth. Oh, now it goes on to explaining how they didn't spy on me and they've just done other tests on people. That's nice. What did you think of my personality test? Do you think it was accurate? Do you think it was useful? Do you agree with me? Do you think that I'm an adventurer? Why don't you take the test and comment below with which personality you got? It would be really interesting to see what kind of viewers I've got on my channel. Thanks for watching and goodbye.